If you have some experience with contracts, you've probably heard about liquidated damages. These are predetermined compensation for unexcused delays in the contract performance. It's like saying, you started to fall behind on the contract, so now you need to give me some money. But not only do you need to give me some money, you need to pay me for every single day that you're late. Liquidated damages aim to estimate the agency's actual damages in case of delay or breach of a contract. The US government inserts FAR Clause 52.211 in its contracts, 52.211-11 for service contracts, and 52.211-12 for construction contracts. Essentially, this tells the contractor, if you delay, we'll be charging X amount of dollars every day that you're late. Who determines the amount? The government. Liquidated damages are calculated before the contract is issued to the contractor. These damages are based on fair estimation, so the amount varies depending on the situation. The government has a method to determine how much to charge based on the damage done to the government. Notice that I said based on the damage done to the government. That's the key word. Just because you are late does not mean that the government will assess LDs. They have to prove that the government is being harmed in some way. Issuing liquidated damages happens more on the rare side. In fact, most contracting officers do not want to charge LDs. Why? Because it feels like a punishment to contractors, and it offers little to no solution. So let's pretend you're a contractor. You started to fall behind on a construction project. You're trying your best, but you just can't seem to keep up with the government's demands. Now, here comes Mr. Uncle Sam and slaps you with LDs. You must pay the government $1,000 for the first day of delay, then $800 for every additional day that you're late. Sure, that might force you to work faster temporarily, but you probably wouldn't want to do business with them anymore. Liquidated damages are not intended to be punitive. Instead, they serve to compensate the government for the probable damages incurred due to the delivery or ultimate contract performance. Therefore, the rate of these damages must represent a fair amount of the actual damages. Let's take another example. Kent State University and Ford Jean, a basketball coach. In 2010, KSU and Ford signed a contract that defined the coach's salary and stipulated that Ford would serve at KSU for 5 years. If he leaves KSU early, he will pay a salary at times the remaining contract year. In 2011, he left the university for another opportunity. In this way, he breached the contract. The court considered this amount reasonable, so the court upheld the liquidated damages clause enforceable. Can you push back when the government assesses LDs? Yes. Remember, when something feels unfair, you can speak out and express your concern. This does not mean that the government will take your word, but they will sure listen. They are not in the business of running contractors out of business. If the forecast of damages is deemed unreasonable or excessive, the courts may consider this clause unenforceable. This clause is considered unenforceable if the amount is disproportionate to the actual damage, or the actual damage could be easily calculated. The government cannot access these damages if it has prevented the contractor from performing within contract time. While the agencies and the contractors may both agree to the liquidated damages in the contract, courts and contract boards strictly construe these provisions and clauses to ensure that the amount forecasts the actual damages and not an excessive penalty for a contractor. So in a nutshell, liquidated damages are predetermined compensation for contractor delays. They are reasonable forecasts of the damages the government or agency will incur due to delays. But since I know all of you guys are honest, hardworking contractors, I'm sure you guys wouldn't have to worry about these.